Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Ozzy Brony, and today I will be reading the 7th chapter of the Changeling and the Pony. Today is a short one because it ends up kind of on a cliffhanger, but the next chapter is definitely going to be worth it. It's probably Actually, I don't. It's the first intense kind of one. So yeah, I won't hold you from the video any longer. I will end this part and start the reading now. He was dragged over with the group around the pinata. Pinkie Pie had already put on a blindfold and was swinging the bat around like crazy. The pinata was in the shape of a giant purple striped star. And he only stared at her in confusion. What's she doing? It's a pinata, silly, Rarity huffed. Don't they have any in Canterlot? He shook his head. I've never seen one. How do they work? It's easy, Pinky exclaimed as she swung again. All you have to do is hit it hard enough with the bat and candy pours out. It's one of my favourite party games. She swung the wooden bat again, nearly hitting Rainbow Dash. Careful, Pinky. You could really hurt someone with that. Sorry about that, Pinky giggled, making a wild swing at Pinata again, nearly grazing it. While these three were distracted with the tea party and with the party treat, Darkhorn retreated away from them and to the remaining mares. Twilight and Applejack were jamming into the annoying pop music from the radio, and Fluttershy was merely watching from the side, having some of the cake they brought her. She was going to hop in soon, she just didn't know when. In the middle of dancing, Twilight spotted him. Hey, Darkhorn! He flinched as he came towards her. I'm glad I could catch you again, she called over the music. Listen, I was wondering if you could maybe show us some magic tricks while we're here. I've met only 3 Alcorns, and they were all great magic users. So I was wondering if you could give me some pointers. Can you do that? The Changeling grimaced. He didn't know any magic. The little magic he was being able to shapeshift and absorb. Oh, the little magic he had was being able to shapeshift and absorb positive emotions, nothing else. He looked around, trying to make an excuse out of this. Actually, Twilight, I'm not a good magic user. Nope, practically an amateur. Sorry, but I can't help you there. Disappointment crossed the purple unicorn's face. Oh, I understand, she then smiled. Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to have to give you some pointers sometime. It'll be fun. Yeah, fun. Not long after he said that, the music ended for the next song. He and the other two headed over to the food where Fluttershy was. This cake is really good, Fluttershy praised out loud. I'm going to have to send Mr. and Mrs. Cake a free jar of honey as a thank you. This was really sweet. She put down her plate onto the table next to Darkhorn, and that's when he realised something. Fluttershy had a bandage wrapped around her right hoof and went halfway up her arm. The Changeling knew it was where he had bitten her back in the woods. He glanced away from the bandaged wound, but Fluttershy noticed that he had spotted it. Looks bad, doesn't it? She asked quietly. He slightly nodded. Alright, we didn't tell you why she was in the hospital, did we? Twilight asked, looking quite upset. She was attacked by a monster in the woods. It's called a Changeling. We've encountered them before. Darkhorn glanced back to the bandage on Fluttershy's arm once more and tried to sound dumbfounded. Huh? What's a Changeling? Twilight's brow frowned. The Changelings are creatures that look like a cross between a bug and a pony. These horrible monsters feed on the love and happiness to get stronger. They steal it and deplete the victim to a point where they just become a husk. In Cantlot it almost happened to my brother when their queen tried to take over Equestria. Her expression became hateful. I've never forgotten what they did to my brother and Cadence. Of all the enemies we've encountered, I hate the Changelings the most. The Alcon gave a short gasp as he felt a wave of weakness wash over him. He had no idea where it came from, but suddenly his hunger for positive emotion increased tenfold. He was having trouble standing and started to lean on the snake table. Rambodash continued the conversation with anger. They would have enslaved us all if we hadn't helped stop them. She playfully nudged Fluttershy. Fluttershy here was a real brave pony when she kicked that no-good insect smack dab in the face. Wait, what? When she do that? I don't remember her doing that. Oh yeah. She said she almost broke the jerk's little jaw. Ha! Fluttershy meekly looked down. It it wasn't something I was proud of. I just got so mad and oh, I hope I didn't hurt him too badly. The creature was so scary, but he looked so desperate. I didn't think he would have attacked me like that if he wasn't so hungry. She lifted her wounded leg and looked at it sympathetically. He couldn't believe it. Out of the other ponies, the one that happened to be attacked was a sympathetic one. What's wrong with her? Rambodash grumpily drank some punch. You really should stop feeling bad for him, Fluttershy, she muttered. I hate him for what he did to you. Another gush of weakness hit him and he suddenly staggered, becoming disordered. His eyes began to dark and he put his hoof to his head. It didn't take him long to figure out what was wrong with him. Their anger, their hate. It was directed towards him and him alone. In his weakened state, it was only making him weaker. Normally this kind of his kind could resist hate directed towards them, but not by themselves, not when they were already so starved. The disguised changeling stumbled away from them in the table. The music became muffled. Darkhorn? He slightly heard Fluttershy say, but he was incapable of responding. Disoriented. You know what I'm trying to say. He stumbled across the wooden floor of her cabin, not noticing how close he was getting to Pinkie Pie. He suddenly heard the pink pony cry, I got it now! He looked up just in time to see the blind, excited pony whirl a bat straight at his face. A loud clonk rang out. He saw stars, and his vision faded. After what seemed like an eternity of darkness, the changeling was slightly aware of his returning consciousness. He then felt something soft and cool being pressed towards his burning head, and it felt very good. Slowly his eyelids fluttered open to see two lovely aquamarine eyes staring back at him. He looked back, puzzled, and she spoke. Oh good, you're awake. Fluttershy smiled at him, and as he sat up a bit, weak and dizzy, he realised he was sitting in a soft bed. Yellowmare had been pressing a wet washcloth to his forehead, rubbing the huge bump he had underneath his horn. Everyone else has left. Pinkie hit you pretty hard in the head there. She was so apologetic, but don't be mad at her. It was an accident after all. He reached up and rubbed his tender head, moaning as it was very sore. She packs a wallop, that's for sure. Fluttershy did her small giggle and rubbed his forehead with the washcloth more, which he was rapidly becoming grateful for. The others decided it was best for you to stay with me tonight. You should be fine in the morning, but I'd rather you get some good long rest just in case. A crack of lightning and thunder were heard outside the window of the room, causing her to jump slightly. That's if and that is, if you can sleep in this scary weather. He was going to protest, but his head throbbed so much he decided this would be better after all. Okay, thank you. He didn't want to stay here for too long, but he really needed to I don't know what that word is. You're very welcome, Darkhorn. She stroked part of his head shyly. Welcome to Ponyville. For that brief moment, as she stroked his head, he felt something flowing into him advertently. It wasn't love, but it was concern, caring, positive, gentle emotions towards him, and he didn't have to force any way. The changeling felt some of his strength returning. It wasn't enough to make him stand, but it was enough to get rid of his headache and disorientation. Fluttershy pulled away from him and walked to the door. If you need anything, I'll be in the next room with Angel. Please, don't hesitate to ask. She gave him a small grin. The monster had to keep himself from smiling at her gentleness as she turned off the light to the spare bedroom and closed the door, leaving him in peace. Once he was alone, he put his hooves to the temple of his head, frustrated. What's wrong with me? First I nearly dozed off when I heard her humming. Now I find myself babbling to her like an idiot just because she put a cloth to my head. That's why I was getting such positive emotions from it without draining it. All these questions are giving me another headache. Too confused and tired to ponder any further, he laid his head down on the very soft pillow to rest for the night. His first day in Ponyville certainly was an interesting one, and he thought it was pretty unpleasant. Because of the storm, nobody inside the little cabin could hear what was stalking towards them from the woods. It was sure to make Darkhorn's first night in Ponyville very unpleasant as well. Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I hope you enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoy reading it. Well, I enjoy reading the entire story, but yeah. Next chapter will definitely be the first action orientated. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe for more. Yeah, see ya.